So the Ravens defense this year is historically bad, at least in franchise history. I think they're on pace to be historically bad too, but that's besides the point. They're 32nd in the league against the pass, and 29th in touchdowns allowed. So just really bad. But, there's a bright spot on this Ravens defense, and he's playing at an all-pro level. And his name is Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey, this season, in 11 games, has 313 yards allowed, 3 touchdowns allowed, 5 interceptions, which is a career high, 11 pass deflections, a forced fumble, and a passer rating of 55.6 when targeted. That's a very good season. And yet, the Ravens' defense, or at least pass defense, is god-awful. But if there's anyone to blame, it's not this guy. Marlon Humphrey is a former All-Pro corner. He is a consistent corner. He's been fringe top 10 his entire career. He's been top 10 in his career. And this season, he is a top 10 corner, arguably top 5. And it's going overshadowed because the Ravens defense is bad. Similar to the other day where I talked about Joe Burrow and how he's playing out of his mind, and yet the Bengals are 4-7, so it probably won't be as appreciated as it should be. Marlon Humphrey is having a crazy good year, and it's going to be overshadowed by the fact that the Ravens defense is terrible. And Ravens fans themselves love to try and say that Marlon Humphrey's terrible or that he's bad, and a lot of that is just bias towards him because he has a podcast, and he's podcasted with people from division rivals and just people that fans don't like, which I'm not on board with the podcasting with division rivals. I think that's weird, and I've made a video about that earlier this season regarding like Micah Parsons and Darius Slay. But if you're going to criticize a guy during the season, don't criticize the podcast. Criticize how he's playing on the field. And if he's not playing bad on the field, then shut up. Criticize his podcast in the offseason, okay? When football's not happening. Who cares? But I just think it's hilarious that fans or people will just say that he's bad when objectively this season he's not bad. And if you're using a podcast to clown or trash on a player and say that they're bad, you're just being disingenuous to sports discourse and conversation as a whole. Marlon Humphrey's an all-pro, or he's playing at an all-pro level. And if he doesn't make an all-pro this season, we're going to have problems.